Shamari, President of the London College of Energy Economics. Welcome back to the programme. Yusuf, now with 11 million barrels a day missing, can the 140 million barrels of released Iranian crude provide that breathing room beyond those just a few weeks?
Hello, and very happy to come back to speak to TRT. Well, I think the supply disruption that we're seeing is quite significant. And whether it's coming from Iran or the emerging IEA, is going to be short-lived. So we are here, what the world is doing is just buying time. But we're going to come to a point where these releases will essentially run out, and we'll have to have the strait coming back and supplies being restored, normal, regular supplies, especially from major exporters in the Gulf. And as you can see, over the past 7 days, as well as WTI, which is also at around 100. But one thing here, which I think is going to be more important rather than these emergency releases, whether from Iran or the IEA, is actually the measures now being made by the IEA for consumers to try and reduce demand. So taking all the measures necessary to try and reduce oil consumption. And ultimately, that will lead, whether we like it or not, it's going to affect the global economy. So if you remember, during the COVID pandemic, we had a demand shock that we lost average of 10 million barrels of oil of demand in 2020. And this year, or in 2026, we have a supply shock of around 11 million barrels right now. So we're trying to reduce demand, and that ultimately will compromise economic activity.
And how does the 50% surge this month in Brent crude change the immediate inflation forecasts for the US and Europe, who rely so heavily on crude imports?
Well, it's quite early to assess the situation, because central banks are on track to reduce interest rates this year. But look at the last meetings, whether in the US or in Europe. Now they are slightly more cautious, so they decided to keep rates at their current levels. So I would expect, perhaps on the near term, we could see the risks of stagflation. That is, where you see an increased economic or increased pricing or cost of commodities, of foods, because there are multiple essential commodities that pass through the